Okay, guys. Today we will discuss of Spring MVC. Okay, one more time, and then I will explain one REST API service. Okay, only practical, guys. Today also, no theoretical, only mostly practical only. So yesterday someone is asked like still it is not clear of MVC, right? Hello, are you able to hear me, right, guys? Yeah. So today, what I am going to do, I'm going to do one more MVC project with the same step by step. Maybe in that case, you may be better clear. Okay. Is it okay, guys? I'll create one by step. Okay. Now let me create it. Dynamic web project. Spring web MVC. Just to give the project name. Click on next. Click on next. Just select the deployment descriptor, click on finish. Okay, so now the project structure is created. Okay, inside lib folder web.xml file is created. Now go to what we are going to do. First is like add the deployment descriptor. Okay, and before going to that, add all the libraries, dependent libraries here in the webinf lib folder is automatically created whenever we are creating the web project. Okay, so add all the dependent libraries that yesterday I have added. Yesterday I have given project to you guys. Okay, right or not? So from that, copy paste all the jars for testing purpose. Okay, now go to copy paste all the jars. Okay, paste all the jars here. Now first task is done. Next, we need to modify web.xml file. Okay, the first deployment descriptor, whenever you are starting any application, web application, first it will load up the deployment descriptor. Web.xml file will call it as a deployment descriptor. Okay, now start it. Copy paste of this part. So what we are doing inside this one, guys? Any new thing is there here? It is of we are configuring one servlet. In case of Spring, dispatcher servlet is the front controller. Front controller means to execute. Okay, okay. To execute of any controller, to execute of any controller which we are writing. Okay, the first point of contact is any request from the client will come to dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet is responsible to send the request to the appropriate controller, whether it is a employee controller or register controller or login controller. We may write of multiple controller classes. Okay, to which controller class it is going to execute, that will be decided by dispatcher servlet. Internally it will take the help of handler mapping. There are some classes internally. This class, dispatcher servlet class, will take the help of handler mapping classes to identify the which controller it is going to execute. Okay, for that first we need to configure up web.xml file. Okay, copy paste this part. Now go here, add it. Okay, is it clear? This one first. This is of configuring only the dispatcher servlet. Okay, normally in case of web application means servlet and JSP, we are configuring for each and every servlet, right? Login servlet, registration servlet, like that. Correct or not? To execute of that servlet, compulsory we need appropriate servlet mapping is required. Guys, are you able to hear me? Right? Now, if you are not clear, then go to storage. Servlet, servlet workspace. Okay, take up some any servlet project. Go inside. Go inside. Here, this is our servlet or servlet, who the servlet is developed who on our servlet, right? com.ibc.login servlet. This is our servlet class, right? So when this servlet class should execute, that servlet execute means that I am for that to execute of the servlet, I am giving one mapping, servlet mapping. Whenever we are getting up slash login URL is coming, execute this servlet. That's what I am configuring in case of servlets. In case of Spring, so in case of Spring, so we no need to develop the dispatch servlet. Dispatch servlet is developed by already by Spring people. Okay, all request with the slash. If you are giving project slash means any request will come to this servlet. Any request will come to this servlet. Okay, the dispatcher servlet is responsible to delegate the request to appropriate controller class. Controller class means the class which are annotated with at the controller annotation. We can say that is a controller classes. Okay, now go to little bit up. Yeah, now wait. Yeah, is it clear the web.xml file, right? Now next. So yesterday I told you one more thing. So what is the replacement for? How to replace the web.xml file, guys? There is one class servlet initializer. Servlet initializer that will extend some annotation config dispatcher servlet initializer class. It is going to some extend some class. Okay, to get the behavior of make that as a web.xml file. Okay, to replacement of yesterday I show you servlet initializer. Somewhere I told you, right, guys? 1 second. Where is that? Yeah, yesterday I told you of one class. How to replace that? How to which one, guys? Out of these two, first one servlet initializer is for the replacement of web.xml file. If you are going for the Java based approach, okay. Now don't confuse like if our in our application web.xml file is there in your project, if it is of some servlet initializer, some initializer classes which extending of abstract annotation config dispatcher servlet initializer, both are same. That is of XML based approach. This is of Java based approach. Okay. Now inside that, let's forget about this one. Now after that we need of configuration class, spring configuration class. Spring configuration class means whatever the classes that we are writing, controller class, service classes, DAO layer and poso classes, everything is there, right? So the spring container should load up all these classes. Okay, we need to configure these classes to load by the container means there is some configuration file that is required of what is the spring configuration file, guys? What is the name of that? Yes, if you don't know that, then the name of the servlet will be whatever the servlet name you are giving here, right? In the web.xml file, copy paste that. Okay, copy paste it inside webinf control n xml. Okay, the default spring configuration file is default spring configuration file name is so first we need to copy paste the dispatcher, that is a servlet name, that is of servlet name which is there in the web.xml file. Okay, hyphen servlet is your servlet default dispatcher hyphen servlet. Okay, defaultly the container will search for the configuration file name as dispatcher hyphen servlet dot xml. For this name it will add hyphen servlet dot xml file. Okay, click on next, click on next, click on finish. Now copy paste of the code. Dispatcher hyphen servlet. So do I need to explain more about this one, guys? Inside this, anything which you people are not understood, let me tell me. Let me go for first. This one I'll explain bit later. Okay, once again. So do I need to explain about this one? This is of why do we need means internal resource view resolver. Whenever our from our controller we are returning back to some JSP if you want to execute of some JSP in Spring. Okay, so internally dispatcher servlet will get some name. What is the name? First, whenever any request is coming to dispatcher select, it will identify some controller and the controller method is executed. Okay, after controller method is executed, the controller will return some logical name of the JSP. Logical name means just the name of the JSP, no extension. Okay, no extension, no prefix. Okay, just it will give the name of the JSP. Okay, that JSP it will return back to the dispatcher servlet. Again the dispatcher servlet don't know where exactly this welcomes or some JSP, just a logical name is there, but dispatcher servlet don't know where exactly the JSP is available. Then in that case, it will interact with, it will dispatch a servlet, will ask, will take the help of internal resource view resolver class to identify the physical location of the JSP inside project. Physical location of JSP which is written by the controller. Okay, to identify that it will interact with internal resource view resolver. For that JSP name, it will add up prefix. Before it will add up this part. After it will give of name. Let's say JSP is welcome. Okay. Before this name, prefix will add. Okay. Before this name, prefix will add. After the welcome, it will add up dot JSP. Dot JSP. Just assume. Okay. For time being, just assume. So then, any doubt, guys, in this case? In construction of no, no, no. It is path. Prefix means where exactly. Go to our code. Inside web inf. Inside web inf. Go to inside web inf. Do you have view folder? It is there, right? Yes. Inside this, all JSPs are there. Right or not? Right, so it will add this path to the before the name of the JSP. Okay, after that it will extension will be extension means or suffix. Okay, extension is dot JSP will add and this full name it will give to the dispatcher servlet. Then dispatcher servlet will go to this path, go to webinf view, or it will search for this welcome.jsp. Okay, or index.jsp, some JSP, just assume index.jsp. Then inside this view, go to webinf, go to view. Inside this is the index.jsp is available or not. If it is available, then it will take that content, it will return back to client. Okay, client will execute the JSP or it will render the JSP. Okay, this is to knowing of the where exactly the JSP is available. Okay, for that the next one. So do I need to explain of data source here, guys? What is the use of this one? Sorry, what is the use of data source? Yes, for getting the connection, for getting connection compulsory we need to configure some data source, right? It can be a driver managed data source or C3PO or Tomcat data source. There are multiple data source classes there. Okay, we need to configure one class to get the connection from database. Okay, now this is a known thing. And what about the Hibernate template, guys? Hibernate template is one way of interacting with database by using Let's say our application is there. Our application want to interact with the database. Okay. If by default, before we are using of JDBC, right? JDBC we need to write a lot of boilerplate code. So to avoid that, we are going up some advanced approaches. Let's say assume Hibernate template. Okay. So inside this, we have session factory is one of the parameter. For that, again we need to configure up session factory details. Session factory details contains data source, Hibernate properties, and multiple things are there. See, session factory, it contains of it is creating object of local session factory bean. Okay, it contains internally data source and annotated classes. Okay, and Hibernate properties. Okay, these are for interacting with the data source. I think no need to explain about these properties. Is it clear? I think already I have explained these things in the Hibernate, right? Why do you need dialect? Why do you need of HM to DDL dot auto? What is the use of these things, guys? Yes, this is the main important. Why do we need means based on this dialect only, Hibernate will create or delete or whatever it will recreate. All the things will happen based on this. Okay, okay. Based on Oracle database, the tables will be created. Okay, if you are giving MySQL dialect according to MySQL database standards, Hibernate will create the tables. Okay, this property is if the database tables is not there, then it will create. If it is already there, it can reuse it. It won't create. Okay. If you are making it as a creator, always it will create the tables. If it is already there, also it will delete and then it will recreate it. That is a bad habit. Bad. It's not good way. You need to make it update. So update means it will check in the database first. If it is not there, only it will create it. Okay, and whatever the queries that are executing by the Hibernate, if you want to see it in the console, then Hibernate data show underscore SQL make it true. If you are making as format underscore SQL, true means that will display the queries in the form of some format, SQL format. Okay. Next one is property placeholder configurer. Property placeholder configurer. What is the use of this means? This is to load our properties file. To load our properties file. Okay. To load the properties file, we need of this one. Okay. And one more. This is normally we will use of to customize some error messages or to give some messages, then we can use of reloadable resource bundle message source, resource bundle message sources. So actually this we are not using in our project. Okay, now where is that? Yeah, this we are not using, or else we can comment also, it doesn't matter. And this is Hibernate transaction manager is required to commit the transaction inside our database. This is required transaction manager. Okay, this is a configuration file. Is it clear or anything is required here, guys? Clarification. Now go to, I'm copy pasting of this part here. Let's copy paste it. Now next one, our web content work is done as of now. So now next we'll go to index.jsp. Index.jsp. First create one JSP, and before that just create one folder inside webinf fold folder, create inside folder views. Okay, view. What is the name of that here? View. Correct. Now inside this, let's write it one. Let's write one class. Let's say one JSP, index.jsp, control N on the folder of view JSP. Okay, write it index.jsp. Okay, next. So this is the generated one. Now inside this, what I am copy pasting, I am not writing off everything. I'll write only one thing. Okay, I'll write off only one part. Now let's add it off inside body. Okay, now let's run. Now let's run it, the project. Right click on the project, run as, run on server. So it is not loading. 1 second. Bean instantiation could not load properties. File not found. So why this error is coming, guys? See, file not found exception. Which file is not founding? Database dot properties in the new project. That is not copy pasted. Okay. Now database dot properties add in the webinf. Okay. It is a error means if you are getting errors, then only you people will come to know, guys. Okay, how to fix it. Now run it. Now again it is giving some error. Hibernate template is defined in web.dispatch servlet and cannot be resolved session factory while using of session factory bean clause with the name session factory dispatcher servlet type mismatch exception cannot convert object array java.lang annotated classes. Okay, so still it is giving up. We are used of some annotated classes, right or not? Where we used this one for creating of tables automatically in the database. We used of one annotation. What is that? As part of hibernate template, as part of hibernate template we use of session factory. Again session factory is verifying session factory bean. Okay, inside this bean we used of annotated classes, one property. It is searching for com.ibc.entity. Some customer information, right? This class is, it is searching for this class. It is, that is the reason it is failing here. Now let's go and add that. Go to is of entity class. Copy paste only, copy paste only entity for time being. Let's see if any other is coming again. Now if any error is coming also, we will see. No error this time. Now let's see index.jsp. Let's, this file not found. 1 second. We see dispatcher servlet. Where it is available inside this JSP, it is of add inside webinf. One JSP defaultly add outside also. It will search for this action. I'm thinking. Let's see. Web application initializer. project. The dispatcher name is select no. Mapping font has HP select. Dispatcher is PATCHER dispatcher. Name of the servlet dispatcher, both are same. Okay, now search for index.jsp. The server didn't find the path. This is what some configurations. Let's 1 second. Let's add up, copy paste this. Both are same. Maybe at the time of loading might be it is of yes, replace of existing one. Control remove this and to welcome. Just simply now let's see why it is giving. I'm thinking it is searching for some href endpoint. Okay, Spring MVC web project. This also fine. Why it is URI? Okay, let it be. We'll see that. Okay. Now first we will write off these JSPs. I'll explain these JSPs. Okay, one by one I will explain. First we will add off customer. Okay, we need of all. Each one is depending on each one another. We need to add it. Where is that? Yeah. And again entity service and service IMPL. Now dependency is over. Now let's see. Now let's run it. Everything copy paste also it is not working means some strange issue. Yeah. Now it is one thing by default it is taking of index.jsp. Okay. So slash means by default slash means it is going to execute of the controller. It is going to execute of one controller. Slash default slash. If slash is there, then it is searching for index.xml. This method will execute on this. It is this method is returning index. This is the logical name of the JSP. Then it will Spring container will search for index.jsp index.jsp in where it will check inside dispatch cell it will go. So I got up some name is index, only name is index. For that prefix and suffix will be add webinf view. Webinf view it will go and it will display of this one. Okay guys, is it clear or not? Now let's go on home. Let's try for home. Same also it is also giving same, right or not? See, if I am giving slash home also it is giving up same value, same page. Okay, I have given up, see, with home also it is giving same. Okay, with one more second, with the home also it is giving, with the default, with the index. Okay, everything it is giving up same URL pattern is matching. Okay, let's say for suppose if I test, just add a test. If I'm adding test, now let's see. It is in project, yeah, it is in our project only. Let's run as it is giving error. Why it is giving error? Now let's try to run without, with an empty, it will give error. With index, the index, try. Is it clear or not? Here I have given the patterns is multiple. It's the index space should open if I'm giving slash test or slash index or home, anything also it should work. That's what. So before what is there? Before it is there of slash is there, right? First one it is the slash, correct? So defaultly it is searching for slash means it is checking for before index.jsp. That is the reason directly it is displayed index.jsp. Okay, this route is identified. So that is the reason anyone is identified, same method will execute. Okay, dispatch servlet will check for this controller which is having only slash or with index or with home or with the default. So anyone is identified, it will redirect to home page. Okay, now is it clear or not? It is everything is based on this based on the URL patterns which we are giving inside controller class. Okay, next. So inside this class, so we have three links we have given. Let's say for time being, if you want, I will remove of other two. I'll remove of other two. Okay, let's say other two remove directly and then refresh it. Okay, how many things we got? Only one link, right? Now go to customers dot. There is one, whenever we are clicking on this hyperlink, so which it is going to some action, right or not? So what is that action? Click on this, click on that. What is added for the root path? It is added customer under slash customer underscore form, right or not? Now where it is available, that we will see. Okay, where it is available, go to customer controller, go to customer controller. Now by default this is there in the root, means it will add for every method as slash controller. Okay, for every method inside this controller, slash controller will add along with this URL which is on top of method. Okay, first part is slash customer is satisfied. Okay, now what is the second part here? Customer hyphen form. Next part is there, right? This is there at the method level. Go for which method is that? Control F, search it. Is it identified or not? It is a first method. So what is that? Add customer method. It is taking of customer object, okay, customer class and model object, two things. Okay, and this model object, what is the use of this model object? Means the whatever it is object is created inside this. If I am giving some key value pair, what is the key here? Customer name. Okay, if you are giving customer here, so what is the value for this? I am giving, or else just assume just CUS. Okay, just assume CUS, nothing. Okay, now whenever we are entering the data here and click on save, all the data we are saving in the form of a customer. Okay, now if I am changing this one here in this JSP, in this customer hyphen JSP, compulsory that attribute must be here. So now in this case, what is the model attribute name here now? CUS. Now we need to change this to CUS. Okay. Now click on save. So otherwise it won't work. Now with that we'll check, and without that also we'll check it. Okay. Let me run it, save it. Next. Now click on customer. Okay. Add it some mm, Naveen. Naveen at gmail.com. Please press 123. Click on save. It is saved or not? Okay. Now let's say for suppose now close this. Now data is added, right or not? See, Naveen is added, right? Naveen is added. Now, if I am modifying that, what is the use of model attribute that you people should tell now? Okay. Now, the model attribute value is change it to test. Okay. Okay. CUS customer test. Okay. CUS test I am given. Now, if I am doing like this, then whenever you are saving, now run as save it. Slash customer just of testing. Okay. Testing at gmail.com. If I'm clicking on save, it will give, let's see, is it added? No, it is added. See, but how it is added? 1 second, guys. There is some magic was happening. Let's see. Click on customer, view page source. So save customer form ID. Where is the model attribute? Model attribute I'm not seeing here. Let's see. Go back to home. Add customer. View page source. Customer. ID is customer. ID is customer is coming here. Form ID. The data should be in the form of a model attribute. It should match it. Okay. For this, it should match it. I'm thinking it is not matched. But normally to transfer the data, it is based on this model attribute. It can store, it should map between the JSP and in the controller, both it should map, then only it will can transfer the data between our model class to the controller class. Okay, our model from the JSP to the controller class easily. Now let's see, go to save customer, right? So it is searching based on this customer. It is see model attribute customer. Okay, but how it is coming, I mean confusion bit. Lot of headaches. Okay, now customer add this and customer form. It should be of this. Let's say now let's run it. Run as server. Let's see view page source. See here, what is coming now? It is of customer test. Okay, so this one and in the controller whatever that we are saving, right, it must be match. Now let's test app it is of test map, it is adding. Okay, fine, no issue, no error, right? Let's leave it. But whenever you are debugging the code, okay, whenever you are debugging the code, remember that the model attribute name and in the form the model attribute name must be same. Okay, then only it can transfer the data between our JSP to controller class. Okay, control Z. Now that's after that, after click on save, after click on save, so after click on button, what is the action it is happening, guys? Which action it is going? So after click on that save button and click on save button, which action it is happening here now? From save customer. Okay, yeah, then it will search for this action, this request URI inside customer controller. Okay, now inside slash customer, that is common. Let's limit of many things is there. Now run it again. Close this. Run it. Does run it. On click on save, it should come to, it should come to the controller. It will go to inside that slash customer slash customer and slash one more thing abc. See the URL pattern. What is the URL pattern? It is here now. Slash customer list is there. So before that, after click on save customer, go and check. Control O, save customer method. So this is the URL pattern is matched. Okay, the path is matched. So after that, if no errors is there, then it is saving the customer in the database. It is saving the customer in the database and it is redirecting to where? Again, customer slash list method. Okay, what list method will do? Now check for slash list method, slash list. Okay, so inside this, what we are doing? Get customers. We are getting of all customers from database. All customers from database loading. It is loading of all Hibernate template. Okay, now that is returning. One second. Go back. Yeah, and where which JSP it is going? It is returning, and all the data whatever getting from the database, it is storing in the customers object. That object I am storing to where? In the model class as a customers, right? Customers, and to which JSP it is forwarding? list hyphen customers. Let's search for list hyphen customers JSP. List hyphen customers JSP. Now see, this is not required unknown thing. Now inside this we have one button is there. We have of one button. Let me show. What is the first one is button, right? Or else copy paste here. We need to understand the code JSP code. Okay. Now first part is in the list customers JSP. It is of one button. This is the code for one button. Add customer button is there, right? Input type equal to button. Value equal to add customer. Value equal to add customer. Add just add customer. Let's say do. What is that? Add cust. So like that you need to just to debug that and then understood that, and that is for button. Next part is search part. Okay, search customer with one text box and one button. For that the code is this is the code for search bar, search part. Okay, search customer is the name and one field is text box, and this is one button. This is the text box and this is the button, submit button or search button. Okay, and next after that we are displaying of all the details, right? So first we are doing of headings. First we need to add up headings table. This is the table main and one row. TR means table row, the meaning. Okay, under table, table headings. TH means table headings. Okay, first name, last name, email, password and action. Those are the action, those are headings. In the next row, in the close that row, headings row, close it. In the next row, so we have list of customers is there. A list of customers in the model attribute, right or not? So here we use it of JSPL core tags. JSPL core tags to iterate the data. I told you for each is to for iterating the data in JSTL core, right? Now JSTL, it is JSTL guys. No need to explain again. Already I have explained in the JSP. Okay. This is C colon means it is a core tags. This is alias name for core tags. C prefix. Okay. Inside that we have multiple attributes are there. One is for each to iterate the data. Now we have customers object in. We have added customers object in controller class. See customers. This object I am using items under items. Okay, so this is a list. So out of that I am taking as one variable, that is temp customer. Okay, temp customer. So out of all those things for update, for URL, this is for construction of URL. Okay, if you click on update, we need to get that right. We need to update the data also, right? So for that, this is the URL to which ID it should go. Whenever I click on update, internally it will go off one value, customer ID. For that, this is the one. Okay, customer ID. Next, same way, whenever we are clicking on delete also, some ID, based on some ID only we need to delete. So for that we are adding up C colon URL. Okay, it will construct that. Next, rest of the data is first name, last name, email, password. Okay, here let's see. For update internally slash update. For this we have constructed one URL. This is the one. Okay, for delete this is the one, right? So that we are using inside here in the curly braces. Okay, when you click on this one, internally it will hit off this URL. Okay, whenever you click on delete button, whenever you click on delete hyphen link URL, delete hyphen link, delete link here, internally it will call off this action. Internally it will call off this action. Okay, and the rest of things is below is for going back to home slash home. Okay, it will go back to the home page. If you want, click on home page. Okay. Okay. Now add other two JSPs. Add two others. Now go to index.jsp. Add other two also. Index.jsp. Okay. Now refresh it. Okay. Now add customer is done. Click on view customers. Click on view customers. To where it is going, guys? Customer going to list method. Okay. Now list method already you have seen. After click on add customer, so internally it will redirect into list method. In the same way, in this case directly it will go to customers page. Okay. Now one more, go back to home. Login customer. Okay, customer slash login, it will go to login page. Slash login, control o, login. See, slash login, it will open up customer login page. Customer login page, this is of customer login page. Okay, so once you are adding of email and address, let's click on login. It is giving of email and address. Okay, giving of email and address, email and password. Email and password. Whenever we clicking on submit button, it is going to action is login customer. Now go to customer controller class. Customer controller class, login customer. So it is going to login customer, login customer URL, not the method name. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, as part of this one, so login process, so it will take off customer model. So it will check off two things. From that it will take off email and password. Okay, see, request param of URL, email and password I am getting from the URL. Okay, let's say for suppose enter of, go back home, click on this, will take off some mahesh at gmail.com. Go back home, login customer, edit password mahesh. Now internally it request param, request param, it will get only those two email and password values, it will come. Okay, those two I'm taking, I'm checking the login process is whether these two email and valid email and password is valid or not. So that I'm passing to service layer. From service layer, I am passing to DAO layer. In the DAO layer, I am calling by using of Hibernate template criteria used. So I use internally, it will verify that username and password is correct or not. If it is correct, then it will return true. Okay. If it is not correct, it will return a false. So yeah, directly we don't have in the Hibernate template, we don't have that criteria method. Okay, to pass off that, that is the reason we use of detached criteria. Okay, now where is the next one? Sorry. Okay, okay, now login is success. If you are searching for some customer, okay, then what is the action? Now let's go and search of some value email. With this email, is there any record is available? Nothing is coming. Why it is not coming, guys? Yes, it is having added some spaces. See, some space is added. That is the reason. Now search it. Okay, whenever you are copy pasting, just copy paste it. Okay, and if any spaces leading and trailing, just verify and then search it. Or else at the time of doing of searching, then we need to trim that. The customer controller, whenever this time you can do of dot trim. then it will trim in that case. Okay. Now, is it clear, guys, this time? Based on the action in the JSPs, okay, we need to search appropriate action. We need to search appropriate action class, or else let's say we can write separate class for this also. We can write off a separate class if you want. Okay. So, but instead of that, everything we are doing in single class update. So, if you are clicking on update, internally it is going some id, okay, to the class. C, it is coming 57 came with the 57. Is there any data in the database that will search it? So based on that, it will get that based on this id from the backend. Now go back, update customer. So customer id is coming, get the customer based on id. Go here, go to implementation class, go to customer. So already we know hibernate get method to load the customer based on some specific id, or we can use a load method also, anything we can use it. Okay. Now if you want to delete of that customer. Okay, hibernate has get method is there and delete method is there, both is there. Okay, is it clear, guys? This somewhat compared to yesterday. You people need to practice, guys, some at least. Okay, then if any some you will get errors, it is fine, but if you are practicing, then only you will come to know. Okay. Now coming to rest. Okay, now in this case we are playing everything using ui, correct or not, with the browser, correct? Login page, everything we are getting, customer page, adding on login, to want to view everything we are using in the browser, right or not? We will call browser is a client, correct? Everything is from client, the data is coming. But now restful web services, what is web service first? Okay, web service means it is a service we can write, we can access that through web application, through internet. That is one thing that are even web also we can find. Web service means I have developed my application in different language, but I want the data of other language which is developed by in some different language. Okay, so then in that case we can transfer the data in the through web service form, through they will expose that api in the form of some service. That service we can access through based on our technology whichever we want. Okay, it is the communication between, it is a transferring data between the two customers, two applications. We can use of web services. It is a communication language, communication to transfer the data between two applications by using web service. We can transfer it. Okay, it may be of different language, it doesn't matter which language the provider is developed that service. Okay, the consumer doesn't, the producer doesn't want how much ever whatever the language he want to develop, that consumer let him develop. So I am giving my service in the form of like this, so you can consume from the url which I am giving. Okay, that is independent, that is independent. Now coming to rest. Rest is like before rest we are using of soap services. Soap is purely xml based. Soap means simple object access protocol. Soap means, okay, that is purely depending on xml based. Okay, xml based, and that is it is the soap can be accessed by using of multiple protocol, smtp protocol, ftp protocol, like that. By using multiple protocols we can access. But rest is rest services we can access only by using of protocol, http protocol only. Okay, what is rest means? Representational state transfer. Representational state transfer. Okay, now So guys, I'll give this document. Okay, you people need to understood and then gone through it. Okay, I will give some example. Today I have prepared some sample document, and with some example I'll explain everything through example, through project. For 5 minutes I'll explain the document. Okay, so in case of web services, everything will call it as a resource. Everything will call it as a resource means, let's say you want to trying to get some data from the database. Okay, then we'll call that as a getting the resource. Okay, updating the resource, adding the resource, like that. Everything will call it as in the form of a resource. Okay, now what is, and one more thing, by using REST service, okay, we can give the response in the form of XML based or JSON based or PDF based. Anyway we can give the data. Okay, it is not only XML, but SOAP will support only XML format. Okay, it doesn't support of any other format, JSON, PDF, and like that. It won't support any other formats. Okay, and what is REST service? Now let's see. Okay, let's say you people have developed some project. Okay, you people have developed some project. So if I want to get some data from your project, then I can call it as a getting the data from your project is reading the resources. Read the, get the resources, update the resource, delete the resource. Okay, I'll call in the name of resource. Okay, every system will have resources. Okay, let's say in our project, this controller is one resource. How to access this resource? How to access this resource? Now, REST services providing a way to access these resources. REST services are providing a way to access the services. Let's say get employee information. That is one resource. Okay, like that. The resource means getting the data, updating the data, deleting the data, adding data. Anything we can say it as a resource. Okay. Now, REST service provides a way for the clients. Whoever is going to access the data, for we'll call them as a clients. We'll call them as a clients. REST service provides a way to for the clients to access these resources, to access the you people are developed some project. I want to access that. I want to access those resources which you have developed. Okay, those will call it as a API. Okay, we'll call it as a API. Okay, each and every REST service will be exposed to the clients through URL and with HTTP method. URL means REST API with REST API. Now, clients can call that request that are API or URL. Okay, client can make that service to communicate for that resource. He will use of that URL. Client will use whatever the URL that you are giving. The client will use to access your resources. Okay, the communication can be of getting resources in some representation or modifying the existing resource, deleting or adding. Okay, we need to use of here, remember one thing, we need to use of some appropriate HTTP method, correct methods we need to use HTTP methods. If you want to get, then you we need to use of get method. If you want to add something, then we need to use of post method. If you want to update, then we need to use of put method. If you want to delete, then we need to use of HTTP delete methods. Those appropriate methods must and should use. Okay, if you want to use a REST service. Now come back. Let me. This is of one record in the representation of one record in representation of JSON format. Let's say one employee class is there. Okay, it contains of ID, name, email, and salary is there. Okay, if you want to save, normally by using web application, where you are giving this data in the user in the here you are giving directly, you are typing here, right or not, right? But in case of rest, it is different. How we can give, we'll give the data in the form of JSON or in the form of XML. Okay, most preferable way is JSON format. Okay, for REST, most preferable way is JSON format. Okay, the advantage of REST services, REST services are platform independent. Anyone can use our REST services. Okay, and REST service provides support for different data formats, XML, JSON, PDF, XML. For any format, REST web service will support it. Okay, and rest is fast compared to soap. So compared to soap web services, rest web services are fast. Okay, and it does not follow strict soap specification. Soap protocol internally it will follow up some specification, that is soap specification, but rest it won't be follow any specification. Okay, and it is cacheable also, but not this one. Okay, rest implementation is easy compared to soap. Okay, it is similar to spring mvc controllers. Okay, so if you know spring mvc means the defaultly just you come to know, you will feel like you know spring rest also, restful web service also, you know that. Okay, that we'll see now. So the disadvantage of REST service is REST service support only HTTP protocol, but whereas SOAP supports HTTP, SMTP, FTP, it can support of multiple protocols. Okay, and compared to REST, SOAP is more secure. So internally, it will follow up some web service security standards to make the SOAP body as a SOAP body or payload. It internally it will encrypt that payload part. Okay, whatever that we are adding inside here, we'll call it as a payload. Okay, I'll show you what it is. It is a Postman, guys. One tool to test the RESTful web services. And one more thing, REST services are stateless. It is a stateless protocol. HTTP itself is a stateless protocol, right? So even REST is purely dependent on HTTP protocol. Obviously, we can say REST is also a stateless. Hence, service every time we need to send the header information to call any of the RESTful services means. Okay. Sorry, what is status means? State or status? Stateless means yeah. Let's say if you are clicking on some, if you are save this data, click on some button. Okay, internally just assume it will send some data to the server, right or not? Right, if you are saving this one, internally it will send all this data to server, correct? Right, so if the next time it is coming, whenever, let's say if you are clicking on again, if you are clicking on again some with some other data, let's say add again if you are entering some data, then next time also it will treat it as a new request. It is the HTTP protocol will treat it as a new request is from the client, even though if you are trying to do same request again also, it will treat it as a new request. It don't save the internal information. Yes, this request is already came, that previous conversation it can't store it. Previous conversation it can't store it. Those type of we'll call it as a stateless. Clear, Navin? Previous conversation, whatever that is happening, it cannot store what is happening in the before. Let's say saved. Okay, again if I click on add customer again, so again if you're adding something, okay, same data, then it will treat that it is a new request. It can't store the previous conversation. Every time it will treat as a new request, new request. Is it clear or not what I'm saying? Okay, the storing of, yes, correct. Like it can't remember that what is happened in the before. Okay, every request it is coming, it is treated as a it is a new request. Is it clear? Yeah. No, no, no. Singleton is different. Singleton is that is a design pattern. This is not related to design pattern. It is a protocol related. It is protocol related, not a design pattern related. Okay. Now, so sometimes we'll prefer restful web service. When we need to prefer restful service means, okay, if the customer needs return data in the form of just data, he don't want of any security, all those things. Then simply he want only the data client. Client want only the data. He doesn't want of security and some different specifications. Then simply we can go for restful web services. Okay, and if the client want to needs of stateless conversation, okay, he don't want to save the internal passwords, okay, some credentials in the browser, he don't want to store up those, he want of stateless communication between client and server, then in that case we can go for restful web services. Okay, and the client expecting of the data in the form of multiple formats, xml, json, pdf, multiple formats, then in that way also we can go for restful web services. Okay, now now so guys, one thing, how spring will act as a rest service means, so till now we used of one controller annotation. What is that? What is the annotation, guys, in the controller class? At the controller is one controller annotation class, controller annotation. For service layer we have service annotation at service. Okay, at service. For DAO layer we can say it is of at repository, right? Now the rest of service and repository is same, no change. In case of controller class, we will modify this at controller to at rest controller, at rest controller. Then all the methods under that controller class will be act as a restful web services. Okay, now but restful web services will not return a, it is of like it will not return this JSP name, it will return the data, it will return the data, not the JSP name, guys. But in case of spring MVC, every method is returning what? JSP names, right? Logical JSP name, all these are JSP names, right or not? Right, at the end it is returning of either JSP name, compulsory it is returning of JSP names, right or not? It should execute, right? But in case of restful web services, it is not the JSP name, it is of data which we are expecting. Okay, now let's go on. I have created one. It is also create the project is same as like, same as like how we are adding, right? Same as like how we created dynamic web project, or I created a rest here. Yeah, yeah. Now we can either we can use of dynamic web project or we can use of Maven. Okay, but in this case, I'm not use of any database connection related. Hibernate template already we have explained. Okay, guys, that I'm not as part of in this services, but the flow is added. The flow is added, but dummy added storing the data in the form of hash map. I have stored some data in hash map. Instead of Hibernate template, I used of hash map to store the data, employee data. Okay, guys. Instead of here in the DAO layer, I used of static data. Okay, I have not used of database and Hibernate template. That already we know how to add the Hibernate template, right or not? Now go to web app. Everything is here is same, no change. Okay, and here also we no need of internal resource resolver, that is not a MVC application, right? In this case it is a web services, so we no need of internal resource view resolver beans. Okay, only controller service and DAO is enough. Controller service and DAO is enough. So all the classes which are under controller package, under service package, under DAO package, it will register, container will register as a beans. It will register as a beans. Let's say employee DAO. So internally it will create of one bean ID with the employee bean of ID equal to employee DAO. Okay. For service layer, internally it will create of one bean for employee service. Okay. For controller, that bean ID is not required anyhow. Okay. This will be handled by dispatcher servlet. Now our class is annotated with what? At rest controller. So and here we don't have of any JSPs guys. This is the default JSP. I'm not using that. Okay. Now this annotation is we know already, right or not? At auto annotation, what is the use of this one at service guys? Employee service. Yes, at auto is dependency injection. This class is depending on employee service class methods. It contains of some methods. Again, employee service is depending on DAO. Okay. So in DAO, finally DAO will interact with the database. Now what I did is instead of database, just I created of one hash map with primary key as with the ID as some employee ID as key and employee object as value. Okay. Now let's go to main is here. We need of this one. Okay. So previous we used of up to this we have seen. Okay. But it is returning what type? Get employees means before we are returning JSP, somewhere we are keeping inside the data in some model attribute. Correct or not? But now, whatever that service is returning, same data I'm returning back. Okay? But the way of testing is the testing will be to test the REST web services, we need of one tool that is called either Postman or JMeter or some third party tool is required to test RESTful web services. Okay. Now let's delete off all these things, save changes, save it, save it. Now, so before before we used of in the browser we used of that URL, right? Now let's say let me run it. It will give one URL for us. Run the project, restart it. Take the this URL. This is the default JSP guys. Okay, take this URL. Okay, go to Postman. This is the you need to download the software guys. Let me show you that Postman REST client. Okay, click on the first one and download the app. Download the app. Click on that. Then it will download one file. It will download of one file. This is the file. Just double click on that and then run it. Double click on that and run it. Okay. Now next. After that, open that Postman. Open Postman. It will open up the page like this. Okay. Now what you people can do? Add one request. Click on collection. Okay. Add one collection, or else if you want to create a another collection, then click on this create collection. Okay. Just assume card operations, some give up some operations, card operations. Next. Okay. Expand this one, add request. Click on add request. Add request. Take the URL which is opened here. It is coming here, right? Copy this URL, add it. Okay. And what is the URL is, let's say get all employees, all EMPLO employees. And if you want to get all employees, this is the root project. This is the root project. If you want to go to controller class, go to controller class. So there is a method for getting all employees. What is the URI for that? For getting all employees, URL is slash employees slash employees. Okay, take that. Already slash is there. Copy paste at the end. Okay, and what is the type here? What is the method type here? Request method, get method. This is very important. Okay, in this case compulsory it should be get only. Compulsory this should be get. Okay, and click on send. Is it giving any data? Is it giving data or not? Or else 1 second, let me side by side. Yeah. Now data is written or not? How many records? Four records is returns. Now from where the four records is coming? Go to employee service DAO, employee service to employee DAO. So employee DAO from where it is coming? Employee map. So how many records is here? Four records, right? Now let's say for suppose this is for getting, right? If we want to add the record, if we want to add the record, this is of save it. This is for get API, correct or not? Right? So whenever we are giving, let's say I am the provider. I am the provider because I have developed my project. If someone want to access this get all employees API, if you want to get all the employees from my database, then what they will call? I will give off this URL. Okay, I will give simply this URL. They can access my data. Is it okay, guys? I will give this URL. They can access my. It will come to the request. Come to my controller class. Or else, if you want, debug it. If you have doubt, is there now? Right click, debug as, debug on server. Next. Now, when I click on now, the request come to my code. Wait and see. It will come to my code. See, when I click on here, it is coming here the control, right or not? That means that my code is executing or not here. Click on yes. Wait, see the control came to my controller and service layer, and it will come to DAO layer also. Let's one by one. See, DAO layer it came. It is returning of some all the employees, right? Four employees. Count size is four. See, four employees. Okay. Now until that it won't return the data. See, still it is running. If I am click on F8, then only it will return the data back to here. Clear or not, guys? Okay. Based on this URL only, our project is calling. Okay. Based on the URL, this URL will expose to the consumers whoever want to access my data. Okay, then in that case I am the provider. Whoever is accessing this URL using, will call them as a consumer. Let's say if you people are using this URL to access this data, then you people will call it as a consumers. I am providing the data, right? So I am the providers. You people consumers, I am the providers. Clear, guys? In offices, so mostly they'll call consumers and providers the names. You people should be familiar with these names. Okay, whoever going to access this URL will call it as a consumers. Whoever providing services for this API, then they are the producers or providers. Okay, Now same way for controller, same way for getting of employee by id. Okay, URL only will change and method. That is very important, guys. These two are very important. Okay, now, and I'm asking, I will accept of JSON application slash JSON format. I'm telling to the client it is of I'm providing the response in the form of JSON. Okay, this is for that. Now, if you want to get a specific employee ID, now go here. Add up. This is save it. Okay. Now create. So right click and then make it duplicate. Okay. Right click and make it duplicate. Get employee. Get employee by ID. Just give some name for that. And here, what is the URL? Employees, right? Before S is there. Now employee and some value ID. To which employee ID you want to get the data? Change it slash, right? Slash and give some 3 or whatever it is. Do you have data for 3? If it is there, is it giving data or not? Then in that case it will call this method and it will call to get employee service and DAO. Okay, inside this from this map I'm passing that ID. It will return off that specific employee whose ID is 3. Whose ID is 3? Who is that? Ashok with 30,000. Is it written or not? So the guys for Spring MVC and Spring REST, the difference is only the controller class, guys. The rest of the thing is same. Okay, controller will differentiate whether this is a REST web services or Spring MVC application. On what basis? It is of based on annotation REST controller. If we are annotated with that REST controller means that all are RESTful web services. The meaning of that. Okay, we can't use of JSPs for that. So we need to test them by using of some third party tool to test the web services. I'm using a Postman tool. Now next one is add employee. Next one is add employee. Is it both are same or not now, guys? Now in this case, both are same, right? The URLs. 1 second. See, both are same, right? Correct or not? But even in case of yes, for getting all employees, for adding employee, for updating employees also, I'm using a same URL, right? Same URL, but the method is different. In this case, what is the method? Get method. In case of adding employee, what is the method? Yeah. In case of update, what is the method? Yes, this only will differ everything. Okay. Now let's go and add it. Right click, duplicate it, add employee. Okay, now what is the URL pattern for employees, adding employees, guys? What is the URL pattern? Employees, right? Employees. Here class employees. Okay, now here you need to add some data. Here we need to add up some body. Okay, raw type. We need to add some in the form of here. So click on body section. Okay, click on body section, click on raw type and add it. Add it up. What is that, guys? I have added the primary key is generating. Okay, I'm generating of primary key, so I'm not passing ID. So name, email and salary I'm passing. Okay, and here this is very important. What is I need to select now? Post. For add employee you need to remember. So for add employee, what is the method? Post. Based on that only it can identify that. Okay, then click on send. What happened? Post method unsupported media type. Unsupported media type. Okay, means application slash JSON. It's correct only. Body is this one. Let's see. Add employee. This is raw type. Employees. Is it running or not? Default handle text slash plain. Oh, the content type is text slash plain is there somewhere. It is not ours. This one. Oh, this one is post. Save it and header. Content type will be application slash JSON. This JSON. Okay. Now click on that. See. So what I'm telling here, guys, I'm telling here I can accept only of what type? Application slash no. I can accept the type is a type of data is JSON data only. Okay, we need to add of content type. Okay, now it is saved. Here we have only 4, right? Now let's see and get all. We'll come to know whether the saved data is coming or not. It is going to debug mode. Exit. Now go on verify. How many should come now? 5, right? Fifth one is added, right? That is what add employee. If you want to update it, if you want to update it, say whichever I have added, let's say update employee. Okay, update adding is done. Update employee. Now, so in case of update employees also the URL is same. Update employees also URL is same, right? Now in this case, what is the method type here? Here it is put method for if you want to update the any existing record, we need to select of put method. Okay, employee, go to body, employee ID equal to 5, right? Now let me change it to Raja Reddy. Okay, and Raja M. Okay, change it to his salary 55,000. Now then content type already we have, right? Slash JSON, save it. Now go to body, click on save it. Bad request. 1 second. Why bad request? Here comma is missed. See, now it is updated with done. Okay, with before it is now let's go and see what is the data right now, guys. Before it is Raja, right? Now get all employees again. Now let's go and check Raja's data. Is it updated or not? Okay, now if you want to delete it. Now in this case delete employee. Now what is the URL pattern for delete employees, guys? Let's see. It is of employee. Okay, it is of employee and remove one, yes, and add slash, give some id. Okay, any who's you, which employee you want to delete, let's say keep it of 4, and no body. Okay, and here it is very important, what is I should select, delete. Now select it, it is 200 is coming, that means it is successful. Okay, now let's try and get the fourth employee data should not be here. Do we have that fourth employee data? See here, do you have that? After 3 directly it came 5. Hello, guy, guys, actually the rest is not part of the scope. Okay, but for Spring Boot, you people need to have some idea. That is the reason I'm explaining the restful web services. For sample, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, we are. I'm saving, updating everything inside that map only. Let's say getting all employees, right? If I'm adding, what I'm doing, let's go get specific employee means, so we can get that by using, it is employee map. In this employee map, by using id I'm getting, id is there means it will return this object. Okay, if I'm updating or adding, at the time of adding, what I'm doing, I'm calling one max id. So already we have 4, so for 4 I'm adding up one value. So currently it will give up max value is 4, right? So then internally I am doing of max id 4 plus 1 adding, whenever I'm adding new employee. Okay, that employee I'm adding, put of employee id, employee object, I'm adding it to hash map here. Okay, whenever updating also I'm doing inside hash map only. See, update also I'm doing inside map only, deleting also I'm doing map, employee map dot remove of id. So did you, it is part of collections, employee collections class object, the hash map is how to add the data, how to delete the data, how to update the data, all those things. I am using a hash map here by using id as a key, as a primary key, value as employee object, employee key value pair, let's say. No, both are sync, both are in sync. Here means this is the url, so internal it is calling of our application controller class. Okay, controller is interacting with what, controller is interacting with service layer, right? Service layer is interacting with DAO layer. Inside DAO I have added, I have created some dummy data. Okay, inside this DAO layer I created one hash map with integer and with employee object key value pair. There's some dummy data added, and if you want to add, delete, update, I am doing on top of this employee object only, sorry, this employee hash map object only. See, everywhere I am using of hash map, adding everything instead of database. Normally in place of this we will use a hibernate template. Okay, to interact with the database. Is it clear, guys? At least 100% not there, at least some 40 to 50% is also enough. So you people need to practice it. Okay, what is restful web services? Restful web service means it is of web services, there is no way related to JSPs in this. Okay, the restful web service someone will consume, but let's say normally in the real time applications we will develop only the backend services. Okay guys, whoever in the Java right now in the, in our class today, we are Java developers. We are not responsible to develop the UI applications, Angular, React, all those things is there, right? We are not developer. We will develop the application like controllers. Okay, RESTful web services. We will expose these APIs We will expose these APIs to UI team. We will give these details to UI team. They will call these APIs. They will call these APIs to get the data from our applications. Is it clear or not, guys? Actually, in the real time, we will not use of these JSPs, all those things, guys. Till now, we have for your understanding, I have explained of all these dynamic application, customer list, all those things, right? No JSPs. For your understanding, UI understanding, I explained this one. But mostly, we will develop of only the services like this. Okay, guys. And we will use of tools like most of the times Postman will use, JMeter will use, different tools will use. This is of testing way. Okay, guys. Mostly, at least leave it about the Spring MVC. At least practice this itself. At least. Okay, guys. At least RESTful web service project. At least practice it to understand the RESTful web services. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Or MVC is, we will not use MVC is, that is only for your understanding. That is one concept in the Spring. Okay, before we are using Spring MVC to for developing the web applications. Now latest technologies, Angular technologies, and React came, right. So the companies are preferring for developing of the UIs. Look and feel is good, very good. So for that, the UI application will develop on Angular and React, and the backend services will be developed by using Java. Okay, I don't know, very less people are replying. That is up to you guys. Okay, whether understanding or not. So my responsibility is I'm explaining. If you have any doubts, also you can ask. Okay, okay, guys. I'll give this project also. And yes, someone is asking. Which one? Here, yes, here, right? You mean this one? You want, right? So just to press Control and go to the cursor there. Press Control button and then click on Employee Service. Press Control, click on, just move the cursor to Employee DO class near. Then it will show the hand symbol and press the Control and click on that. It will go to that class. Okay. Which one? Which one? One, one second. Okay. What you want? Okay. That is one second. This one, right? You mean? Yeah, here also just to press control and keep cursor there. It will show the declaration means interface it will go, or wherever the class it will go. If it is interface is there, first point it will go to the interface. If there is no interface, directly it will go to the implementation class. Let's say for suppose in case of Spring MVC, we used of both, right? See, controller class, we use of DAO service and service IMPL both, right? This is interface, right? For this, the implementation class is customer service IMPL class, right or not? In the controller class, if you click on this one, come down. Yeah, if you click on this one, declaration means it will go to service, first interface. If you click on IMPL, open implementation, then it will go to implementation class directly. Okay. Yes, this is no need. This is the service is not required. Which, sorry, which one is interface? The why do we need interface implementation means, let's say for time being, let's say today I have implemented my DAO layer, my DAO layer with what, guys, by using Hibernate template. Correct or not? This DAO I am using in this DAO I am using in where? In the service layer. Correct or not? Right? If I want to use of some different other than Hibernate template, I want to use of one more JDBC template. Let's assume I want to implement with JDBC template the DAO layer. Then in that case, I can simply implement of, let's say here, control X. Yes, class emp DAO JDBC. JDBC. Okay. DAO JDBC. I also want to use JDBC template. Okay. Then here I can use of extends employee DAO. Employee. That's right. Sorry. Implements employee DAO. Where is that class? Yeah. Yes. Need to use of employee DAO control shift O. So now it will give error. Now what we need to just add that methods. Okay. If I want to use of somewhere this one, then I can directly use in the service layer. Instead of this, I can use DAO JDBC. Okay. So for maintenance and for reusability purpose, we created a interface. Okay. If you want to implement with a different class again, with a different Hibernate template or with JPA, Spring Data JPA, then I don't want to disturb my existing implementation. I want to implement some different class. Okay, whenever everything is working fine, then I can roll back to the new one. Okay, I can move to the new implementation without without much changes. Clear or not? Not clear? Yes, yes, again and again. Correct. Okay, any other doubt, guys? Yes, please. Someone is? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dynamic web project and normal web project means not clear. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, no, 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 no. No is there. How to means, let me show you. Go to file, go to import. Instead of existing Maven project, go to general. Go to general, existing projects into workspace. Select this one. Okay. Normally, what you people are doing, maybe using of this one, I think. Right? Yes, don't go for that. If it is a dynamic web application means use existing projects into workspace. This option in general. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. Is it fine? And whatever till now we discussed annotations, right? All we will use in Spring Boot. Everything is useful. If you are not understanding now, you people can't understand in Spring Boot. I'm telling. Okay. It is everything is dependent. A Spring core is, if you are understood, Spring MVC is very easy, right or not? All annotations is based on Spring core only. If Spring is understood, then Spring Boot is all annotations which we are using auto wire, at service, at rest controller, okay, at configuration, at properties, everything will use inside Spring Boot. If you understood here, then there your understanding is very simple. Okay, okay, guys, we'll meet tomorrow. I'll start off Spring Boot. Okay, I'll give off this sample application. Just practice it at least coming before coming tomorrow. Spring Boot means only RESTful services. Mostly RESTful. Okay, only services. Spring Boot means. Okay, guys. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.